Yeah, I don't even care if this video gets dislike bombed to oblivion. So, Ninjago has been one of my favorite shows ever since it came out. I remember the original pilot watching it, I think when it was released on Netflix, and I really enjoyed this series, and it got better as it went on. Now, the show isn't great, but it is really good. I watched it for a while until March of Oni. After March of Oni, I just dropped out of it because I didn't even know the series was continuing. I was waiting for the next season, but then I just got busy with other things. And then I eventually heard that Crystallize was going to be the last season of the show. And I'm like, probably for the best, because that show started back in 2011 with the pilots. I was like 8 years old when that came out. And I'm 22 now. The show has been going on for that long. So yeah, I was not very thrilled when I heard that there was going to be a sequel series, or technically a reboot of the show, because I felt like that the series should have ended off with Crystallize, even if it was good or not, because when you run a show for so long, eventually it's going to lose its value and become stupider as the more it goes on, which my point was technically proven when I did actually rewatch the whole series on Netflix to figure out what I missed. And unfortunately, a lot of the seasons after March of the Oni were not that great. There was a few I liked, like for example, season 11, I hated the Asphira stuff, but I really enjoyed the Ice Emperor part of it. Prime Empire was okay at best. Shintaro, at first, kind of was boring, but I think as the more it went on, I actually kind of liked this season. Like, I liked the expansion on Cole and finding out more about his story and more about his mother, because his mother hasn't been mentioned once in the original series, Sons of Garmadon, where it's revealed that she has died. We know nothing about her. Then Seabound was not that bad, actually. I kind of enjoyed Seabound. I actually liked the story between Nia and her mom, and everything made sense for that story because she didn't really know her mom as well as Kai did, so that was nice to explore, and especially since she sacrificed herself. Now, Crystallize was fine at best, because it kind of has some mixed episodes, but I think it was probably the best way to end the series. And I think the Overlord was probably the best antagonist for the final season, because the Overlord is the big bad of the franchise. And I will say, as much as I like Reboot, unfortunately, one of the stupid things they did in Reboot was bring the Overlord back and having him get killed by Zane, which is just nonsensical, because the only one who could destroy the Overlord is Lloyd, which no longer has his golden ninja powers. So yeah, that's just a whole problem. And I like the idea of continuing the series after Overlord is defeated, but you could have literally chose anyone. At least this series tried fixing it where it was Lloyd's victory again. But granted, let's be honest, the Overlord's probably going to come back, because Creation didn't kill him, and the Oni form didn't really kill him either. I will agree, it should have been a mix between Oni and Dragon form, so he could destroy the Overlord once and for all, but regardless, I thought the season was fine. It had some nice parts here and there. I didn't hate the finale. I will agree, Harumi and Lloyd possibly in a relationship is absolutely stupid. But then, when Dragon's Rising was announced to be the continuation and reboot of the franchise, or soft reboot, I was like, we really shouldn't continue on with this franchise because it's been on for too long already. Like, it lasted a while. It has canonically 15 seasons. Honestly, it's 16 for me because of the island one, which I completely forgot about the island adventure. Yeah, I didn't care for that one. At least it was short. So yeah, I wasn't excited for Dragons Rising because I felt like it was unnecessary. And if you wanted to do a sequel series to the original Ninjago for the next generation, I mean, cool, but I would have waited a bit longer than like a year. Also, hearing that they shoved political messaging into a kids show did not rub me the right way because stuff like what they did in Dragons Rising, which was making Cole gay, it's fine in concept for an adult show, not a kids show. Dragons Rising is for kids, and yes, the whole franchise of Ninjago is for kids. I remember seeing one guy in the comments of a March of the Oni clip saying this is more of an adult show because of how dark it is. Look, kid shows can be dark too. Just because it's been around for a while where adults are watching it doesn't mean that it's automatically an adult show. It's just something they should have never done in the first place because that's just going to confuse children. Unless if you're from another country where they will cut that from the actual show. I've actually seen how it looks in another country where the whole gay thing is taken out because that's how you prove that they really don't care about gay representation because they'll cut it out for other releases like China, for example. But enough about that. The reason I actually checked out this season particularly, so I can't review Dragons Rising because I haven't watched the full show, but I can talk about a certain person that returned that intrigued me to check out season 3, and that was Morro. Morro is absolutely one of my favorite villains of the franchise, and I really loved the Possession season. It is one of my favorite seasons, and especially the intro. I love the intro of that season. I love the music. I love how the intro looks. It's all spooky. I love it so much. And it was so intriguing to see that they were bringing back Morro, which at the time was revealed because of a Lego set that had leaked, where we got to see a new Morro minifigure, which is kind of confusing because Morro doesn't really need a redesign because Morro can't really age because he's dead because he's a ghost. And ghosts don't really age the same way as humans do, so it's just kind of confusing. I do like the design, it's just something to point out. I just found it weird. But I want to talk about the actual episodes he was a part of. So, I watched it from episode 3 to the last episode of season 3 because I knew Morro was returning in the third episode. So, I'll say the first episode Morro appears in, I really didn't hate how it was executed. It was honestly the only interesting part about the episode. The other part was just a stupid arcade mission to try to find Jay, which I found completely useless, and I wish they had just focused on that whole story with Morro instead. I'll say, for the most part, it's not a bad episode. I actually like how Morro was executed. I love the references to the original series when he's talking about how he betrayed his master, or tell my master when you see him he was right. It was all nice. And then he isn't seen for the rest of the season until the finale of part 1. Now, yeah, the season is technically not done. We still have more episodes coming, but I'm going to talk about it regardless. So, the last scene that Morro appeared in was the last episode at the end where Thunder Fang has been transported to the Departed Realm, or as it's called now, the Spectral Lands. And he meets up with Morro, which then, of course, the creatures from the Spectral Lands begin to attack where Morro's going to defend Thunderfang, but then he sucks the souls out of the creatures and then proceeds to suck the soul out of Morro, which absolutely pissed me off. Because what was the point of bringing him back? This is the 4th time that Morro has died, including his original death, the possession death, the Day of the Departed death, and this one. What the actual heck? What was the point of bringing him back? Me and I think a lot of people expected some sort of reunion with Lloyd and Morro. It would have been nice build-up to have Lloyd kind of forgive Morro for possessing him, because he's still not particularly a fan of him. Now, yes, he did help with the whole Day of the Departed thing, but he didn't seem to really forgive Morro for what he did, because in one of the clips I did see of one of the previous Dragon's Rising seasons was him saying that the new Master of Wind, he says that I knew the previous one and I like you way more. So he still has a thing against Morro, and we don't even get to see that resolved because he gets eaten by Thunderfang. It just made me mad because that was a waste of opportunity, and what was the point of bringing him back just to kill him off again? I didn't expect him to rejoin the ninja, unlike a lot of people, but I expected something with the ninja going to that land and Morro being there. Lloyd and Morro would work it out despite their issues that they had in the past. But nope, we only get the Aaron thing, which was also speculated, because from what I heard, Aaron and Morro are going through similar paths. No Lloyd and Morro reunion. What a waste. Now people could say, oh, but Morro could come back and we could still get that. And I don't even know if Morro's gonna come back after they somehow defeat Thunderfang. I think he's gone forever, unfortunately, and we're never gonna see that reunion, which really pissed me off because Morro seemed like he made up for everything he did, and then he died for it. It was so stupid. People said it was shock value. No, it was stupid. What was the point of bringing him back if you were just going to kill him again? I will say, though, his first episode was actually pretty good. Unfortunately, they did him dirty at the final episode of Season 3. But that's all I have to say. Have a nice day, everyone.